Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Kendall Askins from Stimulating Minds. Askins Stimulates over on Instagram, and I am joining you again another Wednesday morning. As you see, it is lighter. We went through about 3 weeks of darkness in the morning, and even though we got an hour back, I'm grateful because it's given us some light. So even though it gets darker early, it does get lighter earlier, which is nice. For the past few weeks, we've been talking from Awakening Genius, which is really this idea that every single person has a type of genius, and there are 12 different categories that genius can kind of show itself. I think that this is very similar to learning styles, and maybe that's another series that I'll do around how people learn. But this is very profound for me because often I think that as in society we've been programmed to look at certain behaviors as good and bad, and certain things that trigger us being annoyed if we disagree, or maybe we don't think the same type of way. And so my hope is that hopefully this is helping us to think through how people behave and respond to things in a different manner, and grow more tolerance and understanding of those things, and having more tolerance and understanding will allow us to interact with people differently, and to grow together and build differently. So today I want to talk about imagination. And so I just want to say imagination is this idea of being able to have visuals in your mind. Literally, I think that that's like the simplest way to sum it up. Is visuals in your mind, being able to like see things, and it becomes a source of creativity. Now, creativity is a different type of genius, so I want to be careful not to cross those lines, and we will talk about creativity. But imagination is like the source of that. It's almost like it feeds the creativity. And I just want to take a minute and discuss a little bit about what that looks like. So the best way to describe it would be thinking about a child who is talking about seeing a monster, right? Or they're afraid that the monster is under their bed, and they've kind of created a whole scenario around what that might be. And I want us to think about how we respond to that, right? And I've been guilty of this myself. So children often have visuals, and those visuals come in terms of dreams, right? And there's a certain age, usually around that 2-year-old age, that they get more nightmares than not. And those nightmares have to do with their imagination, right? How they're visually seeing something. And what we often do, because we go into a protection mode, we don't want them to be afraid, right? We often try to let them know that what they're thinking is not real. But I want to offer something here. We let them know that what they're thinking is not real, and we prove to them, right, that it's not real. But in doing that, I think we also are inadvertently killing that imagination, right? And so we're saying to them things like, look, there's no monster, that's not real, don't feel that way, right? You shouldn't be afraid, things like that. And trying to get them not to either think about it, or to not be afraid, or whatever it is. And so as they begin to grow, we hear less and less about the monsters under the bed. So we might look at that as a good thing, but it makes me wonder, are we really removing that source that could possibly be the foundation of the creation of something great, right? So I wonder if instead of trying to prove to them that what they're thinking is wrong, we encourage them to maybe share out. So instead of saying, this is not real, or you should look at it this way, maybe I would say, tell me about that monster under the bed. Or what does it look like, right? Or I might participate in that play with them to show them that that monster is not dangerous to them, right? That maybe there's nothing fearful, there's nothing that's going to actually hurt them, but I'm encouraging them to continue to use that imagination around what it is that they're visualizing, right? So there's a way to show them that there's not a fear in maybe what they're imagining without killing their imagination. As they grow into teenagers, that imagination might start to look like daydreaming. Right? Because teenagers are not necessarily visualizing monsters under the bed, but they might be seeing other types of images. And so the moment that we're teaching them that the daydreaming is wrong or not something they should be doing, we remove that space for that source of creativity versus saying maybe, what are you thinking about right now, or what's going on? Okay, let's talk more about that, but this is the time frame, right? Creating a space. So I just want to encourage you today that if you come across maybe people that have active imaginations, stories, right? That's often where the best liars come from, is this active imagination of the stories that come true. Not that we want to encourage lying, but maybe tapping into the source that might be their genius, right? And so presenting things with facts is always a great thing, but knowing that you might be dealing with a genius of imagination can be powerful in terms of how you approach and how you deal with that person, and the way that you engage with them. So again, as usual, I hope this gave you something to think about. Good morning, Julie. I'm so happy to see you this morning. I hope this gave you something to think about, and I want to encourage you to drop your comments in the comment section. Share out if it is something that maybe was different for you, and I hope that it helps you interact with not only children, teenagers, but adults maybe that are their genius is imagination in a different way. I'll see you back here next Wednesday for more fun. Bye, everyone.
Ikaw sa mga di? Isa lang. Tama di, dili, tama. Tama man. Sa hantod sa di siya matouch.
Ito no, isa-isa no?
Oy, ano di? Nana na siya. Hantod sa kung dili, kung matouch na, dili na siya, kanalahi na po na.
Ni! Ano ka lang, patuyok na lang. Tuyok na lang, uy.
Ay, paniliho. Sige, sa.
Sige, padaghanay, di ba?
Padaghanay.
Nakalimot ka ba ka mangingi?
Una ka.
Na-video ba ito?
Ikaw sunod.
Wala, dagang patong-patong.
Busy ka sa na phone mo eh.
Yes. Ayaw, ilagti. Oy, agad, wala akong ginawa ha. Ay, sorry.
Layo mo ko!
Sa ako'y kuhaan.
Hangin na punto ni mo.
Goni!
Alright. Yo. Ikaw na. Tayo lang apat. Ikaw.
Okay. Okay.
Ay, yung samang ka. Balik ka.
Sige, go. Isa ko pa. Ito.
Wala ka. Siya siguro. Ay! Uy, natanda. Ikaw na.
Tanong ko nito na ano rin.
Pwede mag-guna ka matulong bago sa dilang matalong doon. Oh, successful. Sige, tinglugi. Okay. Kapatandog. Sige, ikaw na. Sorry.
Carried away ko sa...
Kapit ko rin siya.
Madali ang ano.
Forte na niya.
Merchuk mga bata.
Sige, sige.
Order ninyo. Order ninyo. Ano? Ah, tarag.
Pagkanda kasi yung gera pa. Pause na lang.
Wala, mamog na kayo.
Dakuha di yan na rin mo.
Dako siya.
Magtungo sa dito. Kapareho eh.
Yan na lang. Para po ako.
Ala.
Pagkain sa mo.
Kanina yung duha, diba? Ako.
Pinatawag ko dyan. Bawal ka dyan.
Sige, isa ko na. Ako na.
Pagkain sa mo. Pwede ka magamit o ba naman?
Picture na ako sila.
Pag-stick na lang ma'am, yan na, nagamitin.
Hindi ko magano, try.
Kaya ra. Makatilo na ba may anak? Nag-boxing. Ako na? Ikaw na. Ano sa ito ni mo? Ano? May laman to.
Daw kay kayo mo gini ko.
Nag-share agad niya to. Siglanan?
Ako na lang din.
Susunod na lang dira ka ang ano, ang sobra. Balot at sa
Kaya mo yan.
Gisa mo na itong halapan na.
Kanan kasi. Kanan ko mag-order.
Take out niya.
Take out niya.
Order ka ba?
Tagaan ko lang hilingan na. Pinabayaran mo na po. Sige, ikaw na. Mana siya?
Ikaw na.
Ako na.
Na-touch ko. So, una na kayo, nang ba kayo gingan?
Ikaw na.
Ay, sorry. Wala pa mag-scrabble. Ay,
Ay, tiyo ka rin niyo.
So sorry. Ano kasi ako?
Unsa?
Out di siya, nataro ko na ko na kanina.
Video kayo po.
Ay, naman, guys. Wait, ito kasi siya.